Hey there. There we go. Good morning. Thursday. No, Tuesday. Okay. So the show note template that I have is the same one for Tuesday and Thursday because it's the only 2 days I'm alone. And that's what I read because that's what was on it, even though we're a little early for that one. Still here. There we go. Swipe that over so you can see me. Those on video. Welcome. Some new additions we confirmed yesterday. We are working on some more as of today. And we're still on some of our other regulars. Oh, that's right. That's another one. Let's go to that. I got okay from John from Biz Growth Collective and Build a Space to access the 24-hour room, a networking room today. And do the show from there. Adding yet another destination. And in fact, 2 social media I'm new at this. Join. He's got to give me the invitation from the organizer to join the stage. Come on, dude. All right, well, at least I will do the long table. I can get more. So you've got to see this, and I will share the screen for a minute. Let's do that one. Can I maximize that at all? No, it's as big as it's going to get. Okay. Benefit control. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's a little better. All right, so I'm going to share for those of you on Instagram. Well, actually, Instagram will see it. Which reminds me, I need to go live on that. Instagram, you have to go live manually, even though it's on my Restream account. And what sucks about that is that oftentimes I forget to do that. And as such, people on Instagram lose out on a really good show. So today we are we're back on Chatter. That's working. I don't know what version I have. I think it's still 1.0. We are also adding my friend's version of LinkedIn. Imagine if there was a LinkedIn just for businesses. That's it. Just business. And this is one of, burping up coffee. This is one of the things you get to play with. It's a room, and while Chatter, Clubhouse, they all have the look of, or the look and feel of those who are actually talking in the group, are quote unquote on stage. Those who are just listening with no ability to talk are in the audience. Here, it's like, kind of reminds me of a student lounge at a university. There is a stage on which, according to the diagram there, 5 people can be sitting. And then there's spaces around the stage that are able to hear the people on the stage. but are also able to hear the people in their immediate vicinity. For example, in like the orchestra pit, the space directly in front of the stage, the front row seats, there are tandem seats, meaning there's like a comfortable easy chair with a coffee table and then another comfortable easy chair, and they're paired together. And you can be the only person sitting in the one, and the other can be open, but anybody else in the room can come and sit in that other chair. If they do so, then you can talk to them in addition to hearing the people on the stage. Then there are balconies that have like a square card table where, again, same concept. You can hear the people from the stage and you can hear the people at your table. Now, if you just happen to be sitting at that card table and you only want to hear people at the stage, you can mute everybody else at your table and only hear the stage if you so choose. I'm currently sitting at a long table because I want this show. Now it's a new application, so I'll put a link to it in the show notes. And I need to put that in our usual edition for the show, like where the network is. Biz Growth Collective. And that's going to be, on all of them. We're going to do this every day now. And it's just like my Discord server is growing. There's hardly anybody, if anybody, on that. I still go live because there's people that know about it and that's the point of being on all these different destinations is it's my job to find you, not the other way around. That was one of the, I think the big difference of opinion that I had and still have with Sean Cannell from Think Media. He is the guy who literally wrote the book on YouTube. And he and his team teach that you should use your social media to steer. 11, 11, 11. It's 2 days in a row. 2 days in a row, at least. And I know I've caught that time before. That's pretty awesome. But he says to steer your audience to your YouTube channel. I say it's your job to find them. It's my job to find you. That's why I spent this morning writing, what's the name of it? Progressive Talk Network. And I've already written similar networks for conservative talk. Networks that, specialize in talk radio of sorts. Partnership opportunity. I'm getting a bunch of other new emails, kind of screwing up my thing. ProgressiveVoices.com. Among others, David Pakman, somebody I really like listening to. I think he's well educated. He's on that. But so that's a new network that we're on. And it should be as early as today. WZQR, Pineland, Florida. On Pine Island, if you're familiar with that. Down in like the Naples area. We'll be on that 5 days a week. And they are also of the opinion, and we're not going to do it yet today. We're just not ready. But they are of the opinion that the consistency Monday through Friday is best. And 2 hours instead of 1 on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And I think that's a fair, especially to get to a lot of these stations, especially to make myself more marketable to commercial stations that are going to pay me, because that is one of the end results. So this thing is, I don't know how to use all of it yet. And, that's coming. But there's like AI. And as you can see, I'm the only participant in the room right now. I mean, it's a work day. I mean, hello. A lot of these people are not going to be sitting at their desk. And is John a dodo head? Oh, I mean, that could be dangerous. That's the owner or one of the founders. That's funny. That's on the Q. Oh, you see it. There it is. That's on the Q&A on the. And I'm really liking this thing. I think the AI is amazing. The Build a Space, the other website, his company website, who is, by the way, redoing Yergz.com and will be doing manstuff.media, as well as eventually YergzRadio.com, RainbowRadio.gay, our sports. I got to even figure out what that's going to be and get that domain so I know that I've got it when I figure it out. And it's got to be catchy, like Rainbow Radio fits the gay community. Yergz Radio is just, I didn't want to do it, but everybody said, yeah, I think especially your first one, you need to get your brand and your name out there. I'm like, okay. But maybe, I don't know. I'm not going to say anything out loud now either, because I don't want any of you sons of bitches getting the domain instead of me. That's a good idea, though. I should start testing some domains. Oh, I keep burping up coffee. So hate mail for today. Apparently I'm pissing off somebody. But also, here's something that I've never seen. We're going to read posts, comments, and such that I've made as hate mail on other people's, some of whom are broadcasters or fancy themselves broadcasters, on their comments, their posts, their platforms, their wherever. So, one last change before we get into the day. And I will put, by the way, the Biz Growth Collective in the show notes, of course. Sign up, especially if you're a small or medium business. And even if you don't have the number yourself, get it from your boss and say, hey, I want to do network, especially if it's your role, if that's what you do for the company. I say, hey, I want to network on this new platform. It's like LinkedIn, but you actually have to be a registered business to be on it. Complete with EIN number. For those of you who don't know, that's like a business's social security number. It stands for Earned Income Number. It is the number that you have issued to you by the IRS so they can track you for tax purposes and activity and growth and dissolvement and so on, if you should go out of business or retire, whatever. Just like they track your everything, movements, income, you name it, with a social security number. And what this site does, Biz Growth Collective does, is, I mean, how should I say? They will research your information to validate you. But instead of kicking you off if, say, you put in a bogus EIN because you want to get on it, you don't really know how to start a business, they'll help you start the business. There's free versions, which is what I'm on now. I've been promising John to get the subscribe version, which I will do. I want to pay off the credit card that I use for that first so it doesn't bounce. But lastly, I think we got all, yeah, I talked about WZQR. ZQR is a small AM/FM station down in Pine Island, Florida. And I think we're starting with them right now. I'm pretty sure. But I'll check some emails quick. Shall we go ahead and schedule it? The only impediment will be our, yeah, I know they're going to do commercials and such. In fact, yeah, let me put that in. I'll listen to it during our own break of commercials. Pine Island is off of Naples on the Gulf Coast. It's about 2 or 3 hours south of here by driving. The small town on Pine Island is called Pineland. Fitting. And they've got a small AM/FM station. They're a nonprofit, which means I'm not getting paid there either. But I can still do my own commercials as part of my own show. I just can't share it with them. I mean, eventually, once we start growing properly, I will. He sent me the link for that too. Because I tried looking that up and it didn't work. Here's the link to the talk format. Okay. Boom. I'm familiar with that player. Let's put an earpiece in here and see what we got. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, we're on. Sweet deal. So, WZQR FM, you can find them at WZQR.FM. Remember, we talked about there's more than just .com now. And WZQR.FM, they have 7 different formats. Let's see if I can do it. Talk, of course, gospel, rock, country. That's only 4 of them. Not Malachi. A name like Malachi, and it's this guy who does all this original music, and that whole channel is nothing but original music. And then that's 5. There's symphony, like big band. And something else, of course, you only ever get 6 out of 7. But yeah, happy to be on WZQR. And yeah, growing. Lastly, it's already 11:20, and I'm going to take a break. We're going to do this also. We're going to take frequent breaks. We're still going to get the same amount of time during the course of a show. But what that's going to do is they're all going to be short commercial breaks. Why? Because then you're not waiting long. So hurry up, Go refill your coffee like I'm about to do. Come back to 99.1 WDJY, America One Radio, WZQR, Rainbow Radio, Yergz Radio, DNR Studios, and Biz Growth Collective, and Chatter, and Instagram, and the rest of the Mastiff Media Network. It's Yergz. We're going up the middle. You're going to hear me bitch right after this.
Hey, gang, it's Yergz. What are you doing right now? What are you doing? Are you with a group, some agency? Do you get your own business? Are you reaching them? We do. You get emails from me, and we get the help from Constant Contact. Go to my Facebook page, Ross Yergz Yerger. Hit the link for Constant Contact.
And there we go. That is why I got to at least put two of these together so that when that quick 30-second commercial ends, my ass is back here. All right, I got to put one on because I got to finish my coffee. So let's talk to Momentum Fitness and Sports.
What are you doing later? I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to the gym, but not just any gym. Momentum Fitness and Wellness. Walk right up to the door. There's a QR code on the door. You can sign up right there. You've got no excuse. But not only that, their equipment is amazing. It's kept up well. It's expanded. There's stretching area. There's CrossFit. There's hardcore training. A dedicated area for stretching, dunk tanks, sauna, everything you need to get that Hernando beach body or keep your Clearwater beach body. You can train with your shirt off, you can scream, you can yell, and you won't be intimidated either. Go to Momentum Fitness and Wellness on US 19 in Bayonet Point, Jasmine Estates. Build the momentum.
There we go. We're back. And I need to also tell you real quick about buyblacket.com. Philip Blackett will be joining us tomorrow. He is our Trump translator. He has his own merch, and we certainly support that. Go to buyblackett, BLACKETT, the color ETT.com/Yergz for 15% off your order. Spend $100, pay 85. I mean, how awesome is that? And it's cool stuff. I really think you'll like it. Check it out at buyblackett.com. I'll put the QR code on the screen. There it is. And also, don't forget to have me send you a personal message. I am now on Cameo. That's right. I don't know if the, let me see something. Yeah, it's real easy. Cameo.com/Yergz/book, or use the QR code on the screen. I think I may have added that to the affiliates as well. I'm not sure. But then, look what's there. Here's another one. Biz Growth Collective. We were talking about that. And again, all of these will be in the show notes for today. But you can also go to bizgrowthcollective.com and get signed up. I'm already talking. I know there wasn't anybody in the room now, and I don't see anybody else at the moment. But I've talked to people on there. It's excellent networking. And yeah, it's going to be a big help. So Cameo, Biz Growth, Buy Blackett, check them all out. And I'm going to leave the Biz Growth up there for the rest of the show. Okay. Are we ready? I need to turn this heater off. It's obviously January, And even in Florida, it's been real cold. That's why I'm in like the thicker shirt today. Once I get up and moving later, I'm sure that'll come off. But I mean, oh, thank you. And the thing I've noticed is that both of my dogs are cuddlers, and they're heat. They are. What's that called when you're hot? You sleep hot, whatever. I'll take it. I'll gladly take it. So yeah, we're oh, look at that. Hype Media Global. That's the distributor that gets us on our Atlanta station. That didn't stay. Sean RVA. Another one. I'm looking at the Instagram. But always glad to see him at least checking things out. Talk TV 24. Yergz Media on Twitch. Talk TV was on YouTube. Shout out to everybody there. Up the Middle Radio Show on Facebook page. All the other pages operating nice and busy. But that's that. Let's see. Check out who's on Yergz Radio. See, I'm not sharing this, am I? Okay. Yeah, because my luck, my luck, I would share something that has a password on it or something real stupid like that. How we've been doing there. This is growing. I'm happy and impressed. Oh, we got a regular. Shout out to, I think that's Kansas. Is that the same one that keeps popping up? There we go. Yeah, was that Topeka? What do I remember? Outside of Wichita. Yeah, let's see if I can zoom in here. Outside of Wichita. Oh, it's this lake. That's right. Somebody's on a lake listening to us, I guess, during their vacation. Hopefully they're ice fishing. Jesus. Cheney Reservoir, Kansas. And what else? Who's else listening today? Los Angeles, San Diego, Jacksonville again, another regular. DC, some regulars there. Bunch checking in. Welcome, everybody. I got to keep this this map global. There we go. All right. Back to work. All right. So there are a bunch of links. Excuse me. Sorry. A bunch of links that yesterday had good listenership too, by the way. Welcome, everybody. Just see something else here. Goes up and down. I think that's fascinating. But yesterday, we talked about where we're going to stay strong or firm in what we do and how we are. And one of the things that, I'm just not going to tolerate is hypocrisy. And as you already know, I don't sugarcoat. I don't sugarcoat, but I also don't hide what is already public. For example, this young lass is known to you as, I'll put this back on the screen, That based babe. That based babe. I don't know what that means. I don't think she does either. In other words, unless she's admitting to freebasing, which would be interesting for being the conservative young lass that she is. Post this. Well, actually shared it, I believe. Maybe it's a post. Hot take. This is like watching Sodom and Gomorrah burn. So, one, a biblical reference, automatically, we're a Bible thumper. And her comment, not that dissimilar, TBH, which is to be honest. But here's the first problem right off the bat. Forget about the post. Most people don't know what dissimilar means. And if they do, eventually they have to sit and think about it. Every consultant I've watched on YouTube, in person, who have helped me virtually or in person, has said, keep your vocabulary to an elementary school level. Because by and large, that's who's listening. Not kids, but people with an elementary school reading level. And I've seen that especially on the conservative side of my audience. And that's okay. As long as we can communicate. As long as you can communicate back. That's fine. But then when you use words like dissimilar, and somebody either flat out doesn't know what you're saying at all, or they do actually break it down, if they have the capability of breaking it down, then they already know what dissimilar is. They don't have to break it down. But if they don't remember how to break down to the base of a word and then define the prefix or a suffix, is it singular, is it plural, that kind of thing, to find out exactly what you're saying, you've lost them. And that's what I hate when people use words like this. I have an ex that used to do that all the time, and I hope he's listening because he's going to chuckle because of this whole conversation, especially for the shout out. Daddy Bry, the other dad to my dogs. Moby, rest in peace, and Matrix. I used to bitch at him for that all the time. Well, Tim, philosophy, yeah, I agree. But most people will have to figure it out first. So my take on this was, and I don't know if it's accessible. No, I'm not a woman, and I don't get in touch. Although some people will say that I am with the long brown locks of hair. No, I'm gay. In case you heard Daddy Bry and didn't know that already, welcome. We accept everybody here, except asshats like this lady. Anyway, so then she says, hot take, this is like watching Sodom and Gomorrah burn. And I'm just like, you are pathetic. I seriously hope that your home burns down someday and that you lose everything but your life. Of course, I'm not going to wish physical harm on anybody, or do anything else that's going to get me a visit by some colleagues, Popo. And when you use words and language that is a level higher than your audience, and your dissimilar is way higher than your audience, you lose them. The irony is, woohoo, I got 2 likes from that. Jared Lammy and Susie LG. Susie Large? Wow. Susie LG. And I just don't know why you would make comparisons like that to somebody who lost everything. And I looked her up. She's one of those Bible thumping conservatives that thinks they're better than everybody else and just calls themselves a sinner because it's the right thing to do as a Christian, not because they're actually a piece of crap, which is the reason why they should be calling themselves a sinner. So that's one. Well, actually, let's go over here and just turn it off. So that's one. And I just like, seeking brand ambassadors, American Fight Promotions. I think this is mixed martial arts. I'm kind of a fan of, especially when the guys are hot muscle guys. I mean, guys slugging it out in their underwear. How can you not be a fan of that? Oh, I looked up some of her other. Tim Philosophy thinks that he doesn't think, and I'm seeing Tim, so I'm presuming it's a gentleman joining us on Twitch. I don't think that Dissimilar is higher than her audience. Yeah, I looked her up. I think it is. Yeah, I think it is, and even yeah, it is, because, and even if it's not, you don't know that. I got an idea who's watching or listening right now, besides Tim Philosophy. And you're either working, you're driving, you're at lunch on the East Coast, something like that. I'm not going to cause you to do more work, especially if you're on a break or you're listening while at work, like so many people do. I'm just going to use something that's easy to go with. And those consultants that say that are right. So yeah, American Fight Promotions was something else I found. No hate mail or anything. In fact, they're looking for brand ambassadors. So I'm going to reach out to them today. I'm going to look further into them. This was just something else I found on Facebook, I think. Yeah. And if they are like the uber testosterone and male chauvinistic type MMA, like Dana, what's his nuts? No, I don't have anything to do with it. But if it's something that I could get into following, maybe, yeah, I'll talk to him. The Amber May Show, conservative talk show host that is also on the UG.media. That is our London station, where we're every Friday for our whole 2 hours. She is there as well. She's also here in the States. Developed a career in radio, so she knows what she's doing there. And, do I got time? Oh, I do. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so she developed a career in radio, and she knows what she's doing that way. But then her father is apparently a preacher, and at his last sermon, I don't remember what that was about. I think she said, and it's on her website. But I did listen to, long story, I did listen to some of her shows or portions of her shows. You don't usually listen. You get the point when you listen to stuff like this. And you just kind of decide, well, is that something I would want to have over on Yergz Radio, considering we're also on another station together. And while I am conservative and I am progressive and or liberal, depending on your definitions of each, I think it would be good to have shows like coming up tonight is Travis Evans, who I've been helping get his Google Voice set up. I love him. He's got some determination. And he's tonight at 8. As soon as I'm done here, we're going to finish getting Google Voice working properly. And he's trying to also use Voice Meter. We were almost, and it just got too late for me. I had to say, hey, look, I've got to split because I got to feed my dogs. But I'm free all day today, and I got other things I got to do. But I've been telling this guy I'd help him. I'm not going to bitch about people who say that they're going to help me and they never do, and then go and do the same thing. Besides, I like this guy. Like he said last night, we consider each other friends, not just fellow broadcasters. And he was a sports guy. And the irony of that is, as most of you know, later this year we'll be launching the sports channel that I just talked about earlier in the show today. And maybe we'll be getting his show back on sports. But until then, and hopefully in addition to, he does a weekly show called The Point with Travis Evans. He's tonight at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. And based on our plans from last night, he will be making his debut on Yergz Radio. So he's a progressive. Matt Deemer, who we're going to be repurposing Daily Crypto News in our news hour, another progressive Democrat. I mean, we know that. He's on Fridays with me. I've been wanting Blake Fisher to repurpose his Homeless Conservative podcast on Yergz Radio, even if he doesn't do it live. Yeah, I think he makes good arguments sometimes. And other times, we don't agree. I did say MMA. I was in federal law enforcement for 21 years. I've done my share of fighting. And there's some of that stuff I literally can't watch. Like, I will get worked up. And I mean, I watch WWE and get all riled up. So, it hasn't really caught on fully with me. I at least prefer WWE because there's also a storyline to it. I've always called professional wrestling a soap opera for guys. And on top of that, I'm impressed with how it reaches over across the aisle, so to speak, to the ladies. And there's what used to be called the Diva division. They don't call it that anymore. They're just the women's. But I like Diva division. Tim Philosophy also wants to know, how are you conservative and progressive liberal at the same time? Well, it depends on the issue. I have guns. I'm pro Second Amendment. Unlike many pro 2A people, 2A is their abbreviation for the Second Amendment, I'm also pro the other 9 amendments of the Bill of Rights. And then not so much. Some of these conservatives are not as for free speech as what they say. Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, any of them, Donald Trump. From a liberal perspective or progressive perspective, I'm also for science. I'm vaccinated. I'm boosted. I feel great. For conservatism, I'm more for fiscal responsibility. But I am for various social programs that help people get out of bad times. You shouldn't be living, your job should not be SSI or disability unless you're actually disabled, unless you can't work. And even then, I'd do something, sit at a computer all day and be a customer service rep, something. But so yeah, it's both for me, and it's not, and I'm not middle of the road either. I'm not, what do they call that? Moderate. I'm one or the other, but it depends on the issue. So Tim's analyzing. He says, it sounds like you are a conservative in a very much America exclusive way. For example, I'm a conservative, but since I'm not American, I don't agree with these amendments and guns. Where are you from? Let's talk about that. And you can't call because the toll-free phone numbers only work in the United States. But maybe we'll get you a link someday and have a good discussion. But yeah, I get a lot of non-Americans. I don't like foreigners, but a lot of people that are not American citizens don't understand the Second Amendment. I get it. Don't try to figure it out. Be you. If you're not used to having guns, if you don't like guns, if you don't think that it's a necessary, I'm not here to change your mind. Netherlands. I got some friends there. Day trading stuff. Netherlands. Belgium. Spain. Italy. A lot of Western Europe represented. Well, thanks for joining. Thanks for checking us out. Tell your friends about us. Like, subscribe, share. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I got to play that. Do I still have it on here? I might have taken it off because I need it. Oh, no, there it is. Something there. There it is. Politics for the rest of us. And that's the viewpoint that I try to provide, the analysis I try to give. News is, when I'm giving news, I try to give just news, and that's not really possible, but at least there's an attempt. Going to do another break. When we come back, we'll go back to some hate mail that we had today and an old favorite. Caution. We're going to be talking about Bill O'Reilly after this.
Hey, what's in your wallet? Well, if you want something that gives you zero fraud liability for unauthorized use, flexible due dates, just look in your wallet or look in mine. Go to CapitalOne.com. Actually, go to my Facebook page, click on the affiliates link, and find Capital One. Use my link to apply today. Capital One.
It's kind of coffee there. Yeah. Little gravelly. Also, Aroma by Peter. Go to aromabypeter.com/Yergz for discounts and reviews of what's out next. Is scented candles and wax melts. That's what we burn here at Mastiff Media. So it keeps, when you get all kinds of Mastiffs and they stink, keeps the place smelling nice. All right. So as many of you may know him, Bill O'Reilly has also been removed from Fox News. I think because of, I saw this funny, but I got to get
Let me leave. I tried using that, said, nah, you're good. I'm officially an old man. I give unwanted advice to total strangers. I told a kid to pull his pants up, his underwear was showing. He mocked me, tried to give me a wedgie, but the joke was on him. I was wearing the pins. I went to the doctor because I thought I had arthritis. I don't. I have early onset rigor mortis. Anybody ever drop their phone in the toilet? There you go. I did, and after I did, I put my phone in a bag of rice. Anybody ever drop a bag of rice in the toilet? I joined a dating site for people my age called Carbon Dating. I asked a woman on the site for her number. She told me it was 140/95. I flunked out of college twice. First time because I was a drunk. Second time I was sober, but it was hard.
drop the S word.
I got arrested once for drunk driving. Not only was I drunk, but I've been smoking hash when I took the breathalyzer test. I inhaled, tried to pass it to the cop. YOLO.
You get the idea. Anyway, first of all, there he is. And I got to see if I can rewind this. But this
care
is
whether you
the
like
Post.
Trump or not. Trump governed this nation in a responsible way where everybody prospered.
Not true. Not true at all. And in fact, one of the things he did was removed the LGBT community from being a protected class. And of the 3 times that I was illegally investigated by the Secret Service during the course of my career, 2 of them came during the Trump administration, 1.0. Until finally, after the 3rd one, they were threatening to remove my security clearance, which is how they fire you. They can't fire you, which they can, but it's harder. The easiest thing for them to do is find something where they can basically create an excuse to take away your security clearance, which you need to do your job. If you don't maintain a security clearance, you can't work. You are now in violation of the contract with the government. And so they do that to try to get rid of you. And when they threaten that over a credit issue, which I've resolved and I could have stayed, it made me look into it. That once I get this credit thing resolved, which is my minivan, which is why the Mastiff Media minivan I now own outright because of them and their attempt to screw me with it. I was like, wait a minute. You're going to pay me now. Basically, I'm pulling in close to $80,000 US for my retirement. And I'm like, you're going to pay me that to not come here and put up with this? Bye. We're going to lose America One Radio in a couple of minutes, and I might go over a little bit today. We're also going to lose 99.1 WDJY and probably WZQR Talks from Pineland, our new station. Welcome to them again, by the way. We're still in the Biz Growth Collective. We're still on what is that over there? Chatter. We're still on Discord. And we're still on the video and everything else in Yergz Radio. And we will be till I finish. This is the head of the hate mongers in media. And Bill O'Reilly, just, I don't get him. But I do. I see where the appeal is from the conservative side, because when you look at all the posts that we didn't get to, that maybe I'll at least touch on, you understand this is what these people like.
And if you don't believe that, you're a moron.
Okay, there you go. There you go. This is what this guy does. This is what everybody who follows him does. This is what Tucker Carlson does. Dan Bongino, oh my God. And on the far left, Tom with 2 M's, THOMM, I think it is, or whatever it is. Tom something is a progressive guy. Rachel Maddow, same way. Not only is the other side wrong, but they're stupid. And you got to get away from that, people. That's why you're welcome here. I'm very much against Trump. I don't understand Trump supporters. There are some that I've cut from my life, including 2 of my own brothers. But you can't criticize this and then go and be that. That's not going to work.
Every single thing, every single indicator was on positive territory. All
Also
the
not-
working people, no matter what color they were.
This is not even close. And this is my biggest beef. This is why we're going to lose free speech, because not because of hate speech, but because the opposing side of whoever's in power at that time, like Fox has already done. Fox has essentially paid more than $1 billion with a B dollars for lying. What was it? 784,000 was the settlement with Dominion. But how much did they pay their attorneys? How much did they pay extra or get raises for? Because their on-air personalities had to do the spin and more spin to cover up lies. That's why you tell the truth. It's less that you have to remember. But don't forget, the reason why I say paid more is because Dominion was the first of two. And that 700 or whatever the number was, 784, I think, $1 million, roughly three quarters. Yeah, more than $750 million. The actual amount was over $1 billion that they were sued for. And this was the settlement. There was the second company. Sorry. The second company that was also suing for more than $1 billion. And last I heard the story, they weren't settling. So now we're pushing $2 billion because of guys like this, who, by the way, was also fired from Fox because of sexual misconduct.
We're making more money and there were more jobs.
No. Unemployment during the Trump administration rose to 10%. Go up and down your street right now and count 10 people. Out of all the people on your street, see, I've got, say, 5 in that house, 2, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15. I got, in the first 8 houses, I got 15 people. Some empty houses. I mean, roughly a third of the way down the block, I got 20 people living here. So, I mean, we almost got 100 on our block. I mean, with that, let's say we got 50. 2 of them are unemployed, and I know who they are. Peter, a couple doors up, is on disability, like we talked about before. Guy's girlfriend across the street hasn't left that place since they got here a year ago. And it's at least that many. We are in rural Florida. Oh, did I never go? Oh, man. I'm going to be I never went live on 99.1. Oh. So when at 12 o'clock, when 12 o'clock comes by, and now I can't get on it because I'm past my time, they're going to be, well, now it's set for tomorrow. I don't know why that happened, because today's Tuesday, right? Yeah. Yesterday we were on for 2 hours, and I don't think I ran that late. Oh, anyway, we'll give a shout out tomorrow to everybody at 99.1. Let them know the technical difficulty, which today was between the chair and the keyboard. But this guy I'll get back to it so that I can at least call up there and explain what happened. And but all he does is spin. Projection. That's what I'm constantly accusing the right of, is projection. And that's why I can't be a total conservative, is because there's too much that not only do I disagree with, but is flat out wrong. If you're the one that's doing the spinning, Bill O'Reilly, I guess I should point that way because that's where the screen is. If you're the one doing the spinning, don't give your viewers caution that they're about to enter a no spin zone, when that's all you do.
We didn't have inflation. We didn't have supply problems.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. That started. Who is pulling into my driveway? I think that's my neighbor or friend's car. Yes, you did. That was already starting when I was coming here to the Tampa area and was still in LA during the Trump administration. Biden wasn't in yet. And plywood was through the roof. And those problems don't just happen with a new president. They develop over time. They just all came to fruition during the Biden administration, who, by the way, kicked their ass. Everything's coming down just in time for Trump to take credit for it. And I'm not going to let that happen, Bill. You might be a sellout. I'm not.
We didn't have any of it. Now we got all of it, in addition to an open border.
Then he goes on to talk about the open border. Goes on to talk about the open border. So this Brandon Wilkinson is a public figure. Oh, of course, now we need to kiss his ass. The official Facebook page of Brandon Wilkinson. Oh, he leaves his phone number there too. Oh, that's so tempting. That is so tempting. Oh. Well, first of all, before we lose this page, here's what I said. I said, projection much? You conservative blowhards are nothing more. In fact, you're not even conservative anymore. You are the rhinos. And for those of you not familiar with American politics, rhino, spelled R-I-N-O, stands for Republican in name only. It's what the MAGA movement was calling actual Republicans who stood by their guns. Sorry, Tim. Who stood, by their standards and their beliefs, and didn't let this far right fascist movement, or tried to not let this far right fascist movement take over. You and your mango messiah, the orange one, Trump, are the ones who are the fakes and un-American. That should go well. Trump 1.0 was handed a good economy, and he squandered it. He was handed a respectable reputation globally, and he squandered it. Low unemployment, high GDP, and a healthy population done away with by T-Rump, is what I call him. Ruined, in fact. Biden may not be young, but the numbers don't lie. Trump thought that his 10% unemployment was good, maybe compared to the businesses that he ran into the ground, but Biden made that 4% and lower. Trump thought that COVID-19 was, quote, a hoax. His words. That's what he called it, when actual doctors, not TV personalities, were telling him otherwise. 6 of my friends are dead thanks to that asshat, and I'm referring to Trump. President Biden dealt with a crisis. And we are once again respected globally. Biden may be old, but he's not the one. Let's see, what am I on right now? I think I can say it. He's not the one shitting himself. I guess when Trump sees this, I guess when Trump sees this time what he has to lose, it's no surprise that your, quote, MAGA king is really King Messy. Because he's going to see how much better things are than what Obama left. Not that Obama did badly. And not that I support only left presidents or Democratic presidents. I voted for Bush twice. But point being, T-Rum's going to poop his pants. More than what he does already. So there it says the MAGA king. Oh. And these are the people, this is what I love about this whole movement and why hypocrisy was at the top of my list in yesterday's show. Was because they say they're for democracy and they're patriots and all this, that, and the other. And they call somebody a king? How does that make sense? I'm already, well, let's see what this guy's got to say here. Keith Caesar. Guys running from cops. So my comment was, this was from what? So this was it's generated by AI. I get it. But the point being, this was put up, gay pride flags. For those of you on radio, and we're still on Yergz radio, we still might be on QZR and others wherever. For those of you on radio that don't have the visual, this is what this billboard in this picture, that's a Facebook post, says. Quote, gay pride flags need to be taken, spelled wrong, out of all classrooms immediately. Gay pride flags are in need to be taken out of classrooms immediately, would be proper English. But then let's go back to the word taken and spell that right. They spell it Takien. Now, if I didn't make this, if I was using this, creating this through AI, I would spell check it. And that's my point, Tim. When conservatives do stuff like this, they don't know any better. That's why when somebody was asked to tell us why never Trumpers are so hard on Trump supporters and that they think all of them are stupid. I was reading this the other day when I was walking my dogs, and I didn't save it properly. Like, I'm pulling all this out of my texting to myself. I didn't save it properly, so I don't have it. But the author of it went item by item, incident by incident, statement by statement of all the things where Trump stepped on his dick. From as far back as the Central Park Five. 5 black men that were accused of rape and assault. Forensics proved that after they were arrested and tried, forensics eventually proved that they were innocent. And he said to keep them locked up anyway. That's who you voted for, maggots. That's who you voted for. That is your leader of the free world. That is your president that's assigned to, responsible for enforcing the law legally and bringing the people justice. That's not justice. And the author said, okay, fine, great, whatever, with each item. Not really thinking that, of course. you could tell the sarcasm and that there was something coming. And at the end of it, he reiterates, and it was a guy, I just don't remember the name. He reiterates that we call you stupid. Well, I hope that's what it is. Because if you know that these things are wrong and you follow him anyway, what we would be calling you is a lot worse than that. Bill O'Reilly would be at the top of that list. He's not stupid. I'm going to continue. I'm going to knock some more of this out. We're going to talk. I'm going to take a break. No sponsor's going to complain about that, getting some extra time. So I would do the call letters right now, but of course 99.1 and America One Radio are no longer with us. Neither is ZQR. But you're listening to the Mastiff Media Network and Up the Middle. We'll be back right after this.
What's that smell? In my studio, it's Aroma by Peter. Scented wax candles with long-lasting wicks that make your place smell amazing. And don't worry, guys. Plenty of scents for you too. For us too. So go to aromabypeter.com.
Okay, we got another one. This just came in. This just in. Jim Donnelly says, oh, Darren Grant, what is this? Missing some here. So my reply to this gay flag thing, maybe, just maybe, if you were in the classroom, your English would be a little better. Maybe. And there's a bunch of, I don't know why it always comes up on most relevant. I'm trying to get all of them. So Davin Jean says, look at the big brain Ross knot. And that's what Davin Jean looks like. I'm like, dude, projection? At least I have good looks. Sorry, dude. You picked it with me. Chris Layton says, oh, yes, the sad old man. I don't think at 53 that I'm that old. I hope not. I still want to get laid someday. I'm not in a neighborhood where I'm going to get that. Oh, yes, the sad old man who has just figured out Facebook makes his first comment. So, okay, so you need some punctuation in there besides capitalization. The sad old man who has just figured out Facebook, comma, makes his first comment, period. Well done, sir, comma, sir. Well done. I must say it was a stupid one. Well, see if we got Forrest Gump. I want to see if he has the stupid is or stupid does. You do. That's all I have to say about that one. I don't love him. Oh, I'm not a smart man. Just tell him, well, I'm trying. I also decided I'm not going to do it now because I'm paying attention to you guys. But I just saw that one. I didn't address it earlier. But Jim Donnelly is the one that just checked in during the break. Maybe that's how bad they reach now. I don't know what that means. But thanks for checking in, Jim. Madeline Rowe says, "You kidding? They deserve to fly everywhere." I love that one. My people. The other one I've been seeing was that is comparing pride flags to veterans. Let me tell you why that is apples and oranges. First of all, there's an entire division within the executive branch of our federal government. Nothing for anything but veterans. The Department of Veterans Affairs. There is another one that does nothing but employ them. That is the Department of Defense. So no, they don't need a month. Chris Lighton liked it. Was that the guy that I replied to? I think so. I got to reply back to him to watch the show tomorrow. And that's the Department of Defense, the one that employs them all. And to be clear and obvious, the Department of Veterans Affairs employs many as well, as do all the other branches of government. They do not have the issue of, you're in the LGBT community, we can't hire you. Like the LGBT community has. And when the day comes that you should be thankful, veterans, that you don't need a Pride Month. The times that you have, Veterans Day, Memorial Day, the 4th of July, are in thanks for what you've done and continue to do, and it's very well deserved. I would love to take a month off of work for another reason. But as the late comedian Ralphie May once said, white people are the only race that find an excuse not to go to work. For Mexican people, do you know what Cinco de Mayo is? Wednesday. It's just another day of the week for them. They love Memorial Day because nobody else is at work getting in their way. But if you have something against Pride Month or Black History Month, which, by the way, is the shortest month of the year, then just be grateful that whatever your demographic that you identify with, veteran, white guy, whatever, is a demographic that doesn't need it. Because as some, and I don't like this because it's like it's condoning violence, but Pride Month, pride, gay pride, and this is true, gay pride started as a riot. The Stonewall riots in 1969 in New York City. So if that's how you want to start your history, I think you need to take another look at your history or what you want your legacy to be. Tim, I think this is going back to the gun because I saw this earlier. I just don't understand how you can look at other countries where the police have sticks and plastic shields and are doing just fine. Okay, well, first of all, Tim, having spent 21 years in federal law enforcement for my country, I can tell you that's not true. Many of those countries that you think don't use firearms have firearms, plenty of firearms within very close reach. Maybe they don't openly carry them on their hip, as most European countries actually do. But They have entire SWAT teams just ready, sitting ready to go help those unarmed police officers. And with things like bombings and stabbings on public transportation, things that are on the rise, how much longer do you think they're going to be before those governments can't hire people to be unarmed police? And before they're going to finally give them a firearm and train them in it. And then you look at your own country where the police shoot a bunch of people because they're terrified some guy has a cut out there. I can come over here. Has a gun, and then think to yourself, that is a good thing. That it's a good thing. Okay. So for those of you looking at the screen, Restream limits the amount of characters that it prints on the screen. His entire message is, I want to get rid of one here. Cheap viewers. No, I'm not paying for viewers. If you don't want to watch this, don't watch it. But the entire message is, I just don't understand how you can look at other countries where the police have sticks and plastic shields and are doing just fine. And then you look at your own country where the police shoot a bunch of people because they are terrified some guy has a gun, and then think to yourself that it's a good thing. I promise you, Tim, that when someone asks you, have you ever killed anybody? I'll give you the answer that I give everyone else. It is not a question you ever want to have to answer. And I'm not talking about in a moment like this, after the fact, responding to your curious grandchild. I'm talking about in that moment. That is not a question you ever want to have to answer. No law enforcement officer ever in the history of law enforcement took a life and said it was a good thing. Were they terrified because of that person having a gun? Absolutely. Scared shitless. But just because law enforcement is legally allowed to meet a threat with that same level of threat or that same level of strength, the same level of force, and actually greater to subdue that force, to subdue that person, or neutralize, as we sometimes say, meaning kill. That doesn't mean it's a good thing. I remember one of my earlier instructors who taught me in the private community was a chief of police for his day job, was a huge gun guy, was one of the responding officers to a locally popular incident. It was made the news and was covered at length. That happened on an interstate near my hometown. That's up in Pennsylvania, for those of you familiar with the United States and where they're all at. And Tim and everybody else not familiar, it's the northeastern part of our country. He was also one of my civilian, before I got into law enforcement, firearms instructors, and he taught me a class for certification that I needed to become a bodyguard. And we talked about that incident. And after he testified about it in court, with the defendant sitting there. The judge asked him. Sometimes judges actually ask questions that they feel needs to be clarified. It's not always the attorney's job on either side to do that. Sometimes a judge will do that. And the judge asked him, pointing to the defendant, and asked the chief, why is he still alive? Meaning, to give you the background of that situation, he had every right to kill the guy. And Frank, God, what was his last name? He passed away from, I forget what, but it was an aggressive cancer, sadly. Excellent shot. Wow, was he good. And to paraphrase, he said, because I didn't need to. I knew that my training and skill was able to give him as much time as possible for him to make the right decision to surrender, which the guy did. And that's why he was sitting in that courtroom. And the judge nodded. The guy was found guilty of kidnapping and all kinds of other things. He was a truck driver that kidnapped his child, was holding the child, and got the counseling that the guy needed, did some jail time, and everybody's on with their life. So it's 12:30. We're a half hour late, which is fine. We're allowed to be. What networks are still on, are allowed to continue to carry us beyond the 12 o'clock hour. In fact, coming soon, I don't know exactly when. Sorry, my allergies are kicking my ass. I'm not sure exactly when, but it's going to be a 2-hour show, Tuesday through Thursday. It already is Monday and Friday. And to make ourselves more marketable to distributors, networks, simulcasted companies, etc., we need to do what we got to do. Sorry, checking outside. We need to do what we need to do to make their scheduling easier. And by having 2 hours a day, every day, will be the best way to do that. Tomorrow, as you know, throughout the week, we have different themes for certain days. The second hour of every Monday, except the except the last Monday of the month, it reverses. But the second hour of every Monday, Jane Stahl joins me as she did yesterday for Both Sides Now. And Wednesdays, tomorrow, I'll be joined by Philip Blackett for Translating Trump. He is a Trump supporter, Harvard-educated, published author. And I don't mean some guy that wrote a book and now they call themselves an author. I mean, guy wrote 6 books. And in fact, we can put that up there too. You can go to Amazon and which one is it? I think it's this one. Yes, there you go. That's Philip Blackett. He's on the screen right now. If I think he's on our list of affiliates. No, it's just by Blackett. Okay, I will add his Amazon link to our list of affiliates, and you can check out what books he's got to offer. I think it's only via Amazon. I don't know that he's listed anywhere else for book sales. And I think there is, let me see if I can go to Buy Blackett and see if he's got a link there. So We are brand ambassador. Let me see if I share this. Why does it always put that one up? So here's this website. Let's see. Shop by category. Here's his different categories: America, books, cat lovers, Christian, coffee lovers. That's where I got 2 mugs. Coffee lovers, cycling, fishing, for my dogs, football, gym rats, happy hour. What? Jewelry and teacher appreciation. Shop by recipients. It's for your dad, daughter, mom, son, soulmate, and wife. Become a brand ambassador. If you want to put his stuff up there on your show, you can do that. And you can contact him there too. But just go to buyblackett.com or support@buyblackett.com is the email. But yeah, nothing with the books. So we'll put that back up and let you scan that while we're wrapping up. Still got Biz Growth up in the corner. Go to bizgrowthcollective.com and sign up there. See what else we got in the. Oh, that's from the. Yeah, it's more. Every time you post a QR code, it puts that QR code, the link in the chat as well. And I forget that. So, but yeah, for those listening, I'll put these in the show notes, and you'll get that. We got somebody having scanned the QR codes. That's awesome. I'm not sure. Like one of the books, really very much. Oh, I got to reintroduce them too. I forgot about that. David Beckmeyer from Outrage Overload. You can get him on Yergz Radio as well. Talks about anger like Bill O'Reilly and what they do to society. Philip wrote a book on how to have that conversation without the anger. And it's so very corresponding with what David does. And I've introduced them. I know they've talked, but I just last week, Philip confirmed they have not cooperated on a project yet together, collaborated. So I want to reintroduce and get that going, put that in the back of somebody's mind. All right. Let's see what else we got. Some plugs. Don't forget, check out DNR Studios. I think I have that somewhere in here too. Is it in the... No, but they are an affiliate out there. They are. I can go through this whole thing. We're also sponsored by flowsend.ai. They take your episode, you upload it to flowsend.ai, they process it, they give you titles that you can use. Like I already do it before, so I don't really need that one, but they do the transcript, they do the timestamps for the different chapters of when we talked about this, that, and the other thing. You know what I'm getting at, and it's amazing. It does great work. Go to flowsend.ai. You can use the link there. I got to type that. I got to create one for them. QR code for flowsend.ai. And it's HTTPS. Oops. Yergz. I can't type. And again, .ai is one of the new there's flowsend.ai on the screen for a QR code. If you're a podcaster, if you're a content creator of any type, that'll be a huge help, and I highly recommend them. Use that link so that I think you get a discount. I'm not sure. but use that link. They'll know it's from me, and they'll definitely help you out because they appreciate what we're doing. But FlowSend AI allows you to manage your content and your episodes, and it does a great job doing it. Also, DNR Studios, one of our new destinations that we're going to be a part of our network. Go to DNR, Derek and Romaine Studios.com for more shows like us. In fact, we are actually, there aren't shows like us on DNR because we are their only political show. And we'll be starting in the next couple of weeks there, possibly with just the podcast link at first. But I do want to continue every time we expand. I do prefer to simulcast it and do it live for purposes of audience interaction. So, yeah. Matt Deemer joins us every Friday for Friday Fights. Matt at dailycryptonews.net and info at deemerforcongress.com. Also joining us Friday is Blake Fisher from The Homeless Conservative. You can message him, Blake at thehomelessconservative.com. Show notes and other information available at yergz.com, which is down right now. We're rebuilding that. And at mastiff.media. Show notes and other info. You can get us all by emailing news, NEWZ, at yergz.com. Let's check the chat one more time. That's just all that stuff. All right, gang. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for running with the big dogs up the middle. We will see you tomorrow.
The average radio listener listens for 18 minutes. The average
Yergz
fan listens for, are you ready for this? An hour and 20 minutes.
How can that be?
Answer most commonly given? I want to see what he'll say next.
All right, okay, fine. But what about the people who hate Yergz?
Good point. The average hater listens for 2.5 hours a day.
Look, but if they hate him, why do they listen?
Most common.
You've changed. You know that?
Yes, I suppose I have. How about this? Peace, love, dope.